I will send you this song. I have that song in
Okay.
mind.
Okay.
It's a song that wait. It's called
Gordo, vení.
it's so good. I never really listened to this song. It's called Balada para un Gordo. My mom used to sing this uh a song like this for my younger brother, but I
Gordo.
never
Okay.
really listened to the song. It just my mom sing the chorus to my younger brother.
Yeah.
And today I was checking, and so it's the first time I listened to this song. It's very cool. I like it.
Oh, okay.
So I have the song in my head. So how are you? How are we?
How are we? How are you? Are you feeling okay or?
Yeah, I feel okay. I have. I mean, it's never a pleasant thing, but the whole procedure. I mean, it's yeah, it's a colonoscopy. It's it's a colonoscopy. So, but it was okay. It was okay, and also, I mean, I kind of see it as a positive that. So I have a genetic condition. That is what causes these polyps. So,
Mm.
um, in between the first time when they discovered these, and now at some point, my brother also they found out and they
Oh,
removed his colon. I don't know if I told you that.
no,
That
I
they,
don't think so.
yeah, so they remove his colon. They just keep the last part of his colon. And the last time I was in the doctor, like 8 months ago, the guy checked and he said to me that that I have too many polyps back.
Mm.
Uh, as these things, and he said like in the long term, this is not sustainable to do this so often.
Mm.
He said like I want to try a few times, and if it's not, then we have to check something else. And in between that and now, so they discover my brothers, and then they have to remove my brothers. So I was expecting that this time, I mean, they will tell me at some point that they will have to remove mine basically.
Mm.
But what the doctor proposes that to remove a part of my colon. So not the whole colon, but a
Okay.
part of my colon. And I take that as a positive because it's different to my brother. They remove the whole. They just keep the last part of his rectum, but remove the whole colon. So the
Mm.
whole procedure to recover is long. Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, so that's I take as a positive that if it still we have to talk after they do a biopsy from the things that they took from my samples. The doctor seem that they seem okay. Also, they check the cancer because I have cancer in like 2, 3 places. She said that that she's not expecting surprises from there. So, but then the next time that we talk, then we might then discuss this possibility to then do the surgery at some point in the near future.
Mm.
But it's good somehow. I mean, it's better than the. I was expecting that they will tell me that I have to be remove the whole thing, and that that would mean like for me, I think, like 4 months of my time.
Mm. I see.
So
Yeah,
good.
let's see. Hope for the best. And
Yes, yes, yes. Hope for the best.
yeah,
How are you?
good actually. After this, like I don't know, like I went to a clinic because well, it was like a second time because I had problem with my bike. Not that I fell, but the saddle doesn't really feel good these days when
Oh,
I brought the whole bike back to here, and then I started biking after the snow melted,
mhm.
and then like soon after, like I started to have a problem, so I had to go to clinic, and they have to like look into my anus basically.
Yeah,
It's not like a major issue, like it's nothing like a big problem like you have. Well, it's not nothing to compare, but yeah, I just took I mean, I could have just see if I recover if I don't take a bike, but also I never went to a clinic here, so I think it's good to get to know,
how does it work
to see the
actually?
doctor. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, this is like not a major problem, but you never know what's will happen. So
So, but what they will do is, I mean, it's just like you have uncomfort, and then they will propose just to follow up on.
yeah, I mean,
Normally, it can become
yeah,
better.
it was bleeding actually, so I had to
Mhm.
do like some tests,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's all good. I got prescription, and I have to insert this every now and then.
How it's called?
Well, it's just says preparation.
Preparation. H with a capital H. So you prepare for age.
I kind of like the box. Like
Mhm.
I kind of like like medicine. Like sometimes
Pretty cool.
because they
Yeah.
have to have something like very clear. I
Yeah.
remember other how to say like um I forgot, it's like a tube that I got prescribed some time ago that has like very like bold I think it's Helvetica or Arial, I don't remember, but the text was like very like clear, it's just like white background, just
Yeah,
black
normally it's
text.
white. I would say like I haven't seen in a long time medicine. I mean, really, like proper medicine
Mm,
in color. Normally it's just
yeah,
white and very
yeah,
subtle the name that is very clear.
yeah. Actually, they said it's not prescription. I mean, but actually, like this is really cool. I never saw this before. That never experienced before. That here everything is connected to that like Estonia is like IT country, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
as soon as you get the card, like ID card, like all the information is tied to that card. So if you get prescription, you don't get any document, but you just go to the the apotheke and you
Yeah.
just show the card. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
first time for me. Like in Germany,
Yeah.
I think you get the like a sheet of paper, like a prescription.
Yeah.
Japan, it's the same. So this was I was like, yeah, kind of excited, but also like I had a bit of like
Yeah.
um
Yeah. Yeah. Like not really like, are
confusion,
you
and also
sure?
actually like, because I asked them at first, because the problem was that at the clinic they said that it will take time to do the prescription because it was complicated, and then well in the end they decided to do something else, so it was very simple. It was like off the shelf, it's not like prepared for me, but it's like off the shelf. But before they tried to do something complicated, so they said like it will take time. That was like, do I have to
Yeah.
come back to pick up the paper, or like, and they were like, what are you talking about, like the
Yeah. In which century are you living?
exactly. Then I literally said, sorry, I'm from 90s, like I don't I don't have this tradition
Like
in
my
Japan.
generation, like
Yeah. But
yeah, like
I felt
no.
yeah, I felt a bit bad because I think the nurse, because the doctor, she doesn't speak English so much, so there was like a nurse who was translating, and I think she's pregnant, and I didn't want to stress too much, but also like she was a bit like, I don't know, she couldn't like focus so much. I don't know if it's related to or not, but it like she was like, she couldn't like talk to me without laughing because we have to talk about pooping and like insert from anus and stuff like
The,
this,
the,
and
the
she was like laugh
doctor, the doctor
the how do you
or
call
the
it, the
nurse?
nurse, yeah, the nurse.
Ah, okay.
She's a bit younger, and but I think she's
But it's still
pregnant, yeah.
there are medic, there are health professionals That's
Yeah,
really
they're
super.
professionals.
Yeah.
Like because after that, all this like interaction, they called me afterwards that they changed the prescription, so like now you can like go to the apotheke. But like she's trying to explain to me, but she was like a bit laughing. I was like, come on, like okay, you're not making fun. It's serious. It's about my health. Please, like we have to be serious. Like you can't just laugh.
She's just calling you from a loudspeaker from the office with all the colleagues, like, Mr. Yera, I have to tell you, talk about your anus.
And then they're like, what is this guy saying? Oh my
I
god.
can imagine like people in the office,
Yeah.
in their main office, like at lunchtime, everybody,
It felt like I'm in elementary school, like we're just like
it's
laughing because
very
someone's
fun.
pooping, like he went to the toilet, like
It's crazy. Yeah.
I hope they had fun because it was a bit like stressful moment at one point, so I hope they can just laugh about it.
Yeah.
Now I'm laughing about it, so I'm fine. Like, actually today I was a bit like like I felt a bit like a bit kind of all over because of this. But
Okay.
anyways,
Yeah, no, in Belgium that at some time also they moved to digital. I mean, slowly they start doing it. And
okay.
now how it works is that, for instance, if they prescribe me something, that I get a notification in my email when it's ready. Then I
Oh
just go
wow.
to the closest one and they just check with my ID also.
Yeah. Also, like I know, like I'm living like almost like right next to a hospital, but I think they have like a hospital for like children, and there's another hospital. So I wasn't sure if they can prescribe, but I went to the place that has a big sign that says apotheke or apotheke. I went there, and the first thing I asked at the counter, "Is this an apotheke?" And they were like,
Mhm.
"No." I
Like
was like, "Oh my
everybody just laughing with you. Maybe in your card they said like make some jokes at the beginning.
god." So I was at the wrong apotheke. I think that's for children, and there's another one, but that was hilarious. Like first thing I asked you, like, no, because it has a big sign, it says apotheke. And I was like,
Yeah.
is this apotheke? No. But I think it's Estonian way of, like kind of
But so how does it
uh,
work like now? I mean, your health is covered by, how does it work like in Estonia actually? Like,
because as a student, I need insurance, like separately from whatever that I pay from tax. So I think it's a private one. Yeah, we talked about this before. Like it's
yeah,
much
but no,
cheaper than in Germany, but I have to file a claim, so it takes some time. I paid the whole amount right now,
yeah.
and then I have to do it later actually. Yeah, I have to send the receipts, and they say it will take more than a month. And I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
like in Belgium is normally also like that. Like I think I don't know exactly the exact numbers, but normal procedures, like say like in your case, I think we pay 95. I mean, I think the insurance pay 95% or something like this. I mean, we pay everything, but then we got reimbursed like
Yeah,
95% or something like this.
okay. Yeah, that's what I like in Japan. I mean, as a Japanese, we just pay 30%, and that's it. There's maybe we have to do some tax. No, I mean, yeah,
But you don't have to pay.
norm
But you mean that you don't have to pay in front anything. I mean, just 30% and that's it.
exactly, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Also at
yeah.
the apotheke, the how do you call it in English actually?
Pharmacy?
Pharmacy. Yeah, there we go.
Pharmacy. En español is una droguería, which I
Yeah,
found like,
like dealing drugs.
yeah, dealing like the drugs. I like that word in Netherlands because it's like, say like drugs, you could drugs with K, but it's not
Okay.
like drugs, but the drugs. When people speak, but like they're speaking seriously about problems about that, they make an emphasis in the drugs. Drugs problem.
Yeah,
I like it
drugs.
very much. I mean, nobody laughs with that. Every time when I'm seeing the news, like I have this inside joke with myself. Eva looks at me, I'm just laughing. Just I repeat it.
I
And
see.
and in this kind of words, you know that you keep on repeating a little bit, like the rocks, and I will stay like this few seconds. And I guess she allowed me to do this few times, but after a while, she just looked like, shut up, stop with that.
We have to
You have
move
your
on.
yeah, move on. Next.
Okay. Are we talking about like an office thing today? Because I think
Yeah.
this part should have like I have to cut it here because this should be uploaded. Like I don't know if you're okay with it.
Yeah, I'm okay with
Because
it.
I think I mean because you talked about your health.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that is nice to like bring more diversity today.
yeah,
I
and I think
yeah.
it, because also like my problem is like something I wouldn't talk to other people, so why not just like publish it
But I think
openly?
I don't know if you have checked, for instance, like lately I have been like I'm personally now interested in investigating relationality and intimacy. So
Mm,
like, and that's just for that this is something that I will agree in that sense that
yeah.
that's something that yeah, it
Actually,
goes.
like something to talk about like publicly. Like I went to see, yeah, I talked about that. I went to see a show yesterday.
I thought it was today that you were, so you went yesterday.
Yeah, that was a yeah, yesterday evening. That was really interesting. I would
Hmm?
say like so that's my roommate's friend show, but my roommate was in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. You said it was
performance.
for like just 10 people or something like that.
It was a bit more, but I think they had like a lot of like termine, like the not the appointment, but shows. Like
Mm.
I think over like almost like a 1 week because in
Wow.
the end there were like 15, a bit less than 20 people, I think, as an audience, but it's not like a stage, but it's in a room, and they kind of decorated as I don't really know the theme. That was something I was a bit confused because they were like dressed up as like nurses, like at the
Okay.
kind of having like a kind of a bit like reception of a clinic or hospital kind of
Mm.
vibe. But also like the idea is about care, and they come to you and do you want water? Do you want to eat something? They offer like a lot of things, and then they also like start asking you like, do you want a hug? They also always ask most of the time. But sometimes do you want to lean on me, or actually yeah, it's kind of like mutual, so it's not just you leaning on them, but they might ask them to lean on you.
Yeah.
Most of the time I said no. I'm sorry. um, but it was interesting at one moment. They kind of reversed it, so they come to you and ask, can you bring me water?
Okay. And I mean, when did it in the duration of the performance from 100%, when they start reversing that process?
I think around the halfway, and
Mm.
it only happened like a few times. Like I was just like mostly like observing what was happening, and I think that there were like 4 or 5 performers, and at one point they kind of decided not to come to me because I always said no, almost. I mean,
Okay.
Becca came once, like she asked me if I want the makeup, and I said yes. Actually, that was the only time I said yes, and so she put some glitter. That was funny.
Yeah.
But also she was asking not to me but someone else that at one point that can you do makeup for me? So you know she brings I don't know, foundation something, and then ask the audience to put it. That was an interesting moment. I think that's something could be like explored more because there were different transitions. Like that was, I think that was to me like a key transition that happened only for like, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, that they reversed it, and then they went back to offering something again. um
Thing.
it's hard to describe. Like there were some kind of more like a staged moments that one of the performer become like it gets like, I don't know, it's a bit like epileptic, or I don't know if if she was like supposed to be like a robot kind of thing and goes wrong, so other performers have to investigate what is going on with her, checking if she's, I don't know, hearing sound or she ate breakfast. Um, and then they kind of go back to normal. I didn't really get what kind of, world they constructed, but I guess they're still exploring. Also, Becca told me that they're doing another iteration in autumn, so I'm really curious how this will develop.
Mm.
But I was like thinking, like, can this be like, because with you, we explore a bit more like, kind of boredom or something like repetitive and not like, doesn't have to be necessarily like dramatic. Um, how to say? Because if you're creating a show, I mean, in our show, maybe it's different, but you kind of want to entertain the audience. So you want to have something that is dramatic, that there's a dramaturgy to, have some moments to be interesting,
Mm-hmm.
like something stand out. But for example, like Martin, it just like in some shows, he just goes on and on and on and on for hours and hours without like actually like,
Doing something.
yeah,
But so are you saying that in what we are doing, in what we did in Ljubljana, we at some point we consciously try to do certain moments to call attention? I mean, yes.
I mean, yeah, like with the songs, I mean, it's a bit different intention, I would say. It was more like anchor to, you know, hang on to for us, not about like, it's not about like necessarily entertaining people, but it's more like for us to be like not framed, how to say, like so that we don't really, we have something to stick to as an agenda.
I think it's interesting that you said because of course, I mean, like I have language around these things. No, for instance, like those
Sure.
things I call attractors, you know, like
Mm,
so I mean it resonates from what you're saying. Uh that are certain moments when there are attractors,
mm,
like then the energy goes into certain places.
yeah, yeah, I see. But like I was lately thinking, like, is that actually needed or not? I mean, it depends
That's a
on
good
what you want to
question. Like,
do.
yeah, that's a good question. Like that's part of the. I mean, now I guess when I'm like I start thinking, um, how to say this that I think so. I think the less we think, uh, so the more close to a sandbox we stay is good. Uh, um, what I don't know is how much can we transform in short term uh that idea because at the core at the heart I feel that we are good. I mean that's why I think it works that's why opportunities have come on the way is because we are doing something, but it's challenging, it's challenging categories. So, I mean, categories mean like say just like say the theater, or like humanities in
Mm,
that sense, dance, and then this digital art. Like the last time we were talking of this is not an easy marriage.
no.
So, so that's what I'm trying to introduce here to offer is that at the core, I think um, we should just do that. And I think we need to find ways how to keep on just doing that or remembering like so we have this sandbox, but we need to also find ways how the sandbox can be shared. The
Mm,
sandbox. And we haven't like for instance Ljubljana is not we are not sharing a sandbox.
no.
So but I think in a long term, I think we need to find strategies that use the language used in different what I call categories or in different places. So then it's not just solo and we are just uh isolated from what is going on and people cannot relate to what is happening. Um so let me try to come back to what I'm sharing is that I feel that we should do that in at the same time I feel that it's a long-term project. So my question is then how to do that in a way that we or maybe not it seems to me that what is challenging is that uh to how much is that we have to convey to, maybe this is not the word that I will need to find a different word, but for now it's like to capitalize the opportunities that we have. Say, for instance, right now we have Modena, so we have frameworks, there is resources, uh, so and so we don't know when will be the next one. So
Right.
how can we uh yeah, convey, how can we find ways to be close to the sandbox without going into the space that only you and me know? How to make it more accessible for people.
Yeah.
So the more pure we stay to the, so the more, and I think this is good. We could use that as a reference in a big picture. Like when we don't know is that maybe the answer is just be close to what we know. And you were, when we spoke before meeting in Ljubljana, given the conditions, the time that we have, like you were the one who was saying like also we're proposing like to just do what we normally do, you
Mm.
know? And I think that as an strategy in general, I think that should work. That when we don't know and we have to decide, say like now we have to decide, we just like I think questions from the point of view of we in the sandbox. What will we do in the sandbox to not have to invent things? Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm. Well, I think I'm getting but not but I'm like relating to like for example what it's called everybody's toolbox like that
Mhm.
Groot was part of like I because I was checking all these like kind of like more like a movement that especially around I don't know 2010s uh there were like a few initiatives like this. I think that there's like almost in the same around the same people. Um, and I think that's kind of one way of seeing it to involve people having more like a community. So it's not
Yeah,
just like one-off workshop, but like having some kind of base where you can explore things and have different outlets, can be text, videos, something to convey the idea.
yeah.
But but yeah, I can see that it takes a lot of effort and it's hard to like sustain. Like
I think what it makes it complicated, or we should start thinking also with maybe for the next round of application. Um, at some point we were applying for something in, I think it was in Brussels. How was it called? This coding place. I don't remember. And how was the name of this place? It was an application where we applied for doing following up on community and work based on the archives and then give
right.
workshops based on that.
Is it constant? No.
Constant, yes,
Yeah.
constant, yeah, constant, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think the next round, or we should think that, wait, I'm trying to say different things. One is that I completely agree that if I go back in years like to this time on dance and people doing these things, I think that work because they are part of the same circle. So even though it's a bit abstract from outside, I guess maybe from the state of the art, nevertheless, they have people who they can share with these
Yeah.
queer attempts. Um, so that's to say, like, we need to find not only find but like work towards building trust with certain people that are around of us that believe in us, and actually we have them. So we just have to find ways how to um motivate, or we need to find things that allow them to engage. So there is no,
Totally.
because we are not proposing, and I think that's maybe that's why it works for in the past with these frameworks, is that there is an interaction. So it's not a classical piece where you sit and then you have the show, you clap and you go home. there is something for the audience there to be in relation. So there is this idea of relationality, proximity, intimacy is there.
Yeah. That's interesting because probably like in dance, I mean, not probably, like that exists, at least it used to be existed, and there are some communities there. But when it comes to digital art, that's hard. People are more
Yeah,
individual. I don't know.
yeah, but you're right. This is interesting because then maybe also you can help me, or yeah. What I started finding that I'm in the process, I mean, I'm in the process of cleaning my attic forever. This is me. This is me when I can't do it. That's just how I do it. So I'm in the process of start mapping what I am
Mm,
with work, because I'm all over, and that's part of like my strengths, but also it's difficult for me then to share something specific when people ask me certain things. Um, Say for instance, just as an example, seeds or science people, they want to know something. They don't have too much time. They want to have two sentences of what is that I'm working. So I think so working towards that idea of I want to start mapping what I am. Um, so I'm mentioning this because I'm in the process of mapping historically what are the problems in humanities and technology. But I mean, my this is coming more from a personal interest in archiving, no, not archiving, but
archaeology.
anthropology. Archaeology, exactly. More like almost more like a historical archaeology. Um, because I found it is necessary. But something perhaps that now that you mentioned that maybe you can support that process. We need to find also like what does it mean in practical terms, but is that this that you're mentioning is very concrete, like we start seeing that although in dance communities and humanities, this works because there is a relationality, because there is trust, there is very much this sense of community and community-based artworks. Um, the tradition coming from media art is not like that. Like,
No.
uh, so it's very much, yeah. So just what you said, but something that is interesting is that if you go a bit more to the extreme, because media art also is a blending, right? Or
Yep.
more of technicians, designers. But if you go a bit more to the extreme of that movement or where there comes from, then you go to hackers, right? And these people have communities,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I was thinking about that too, like why that cannot easily blend. Um, yeah, but I guess we just have to see, like involving different people, and well, for me, like it's part of my research, right? Talking to people, interviewing, and the collaboration part is not like the main focus at the moment, but it's in my head, like how can we basically communicate? I think there are different how to say points when you think about I don't know if we are talking about bridging dance and media art or if we're talking about something else, but like different fields have different language. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Also like the kind of like not just language as like written words, but like is it in person or is it just communicating on online forum like Discord, you know, like kind of the modality or how to say the channel of communication. You want need to sit together and talk, or can you just like communicate
But
over
this
the
is
internet
something,
through text?
but this is maybe interesting because now that you mention actually, it makes sense from like just the modality of how these things work. Like in dance, people the way how they work is they are in the same space, so they trust each other. and they develop this. Like in media art, or like say like in the digital spaces, is more the other way around. Like you start from like more the distance. So there are different things that you can not catch from the exchange with a person from a digital realm. Uh, you see what I mean? I mean with internet interaction, I mean, this is already very close, no? Like to have a Zoom call, but just from reacting in a forum, like you don't have to interact in the same way how you will interact with
Right.
humans.
Right. It's different type of trust.
It's a different modality, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that kind of like directly connects to my research because basically like I have to do it in a scientific way, but also like my question is like why this is not possible in dance. But that's just like, I put it as a research question. I wouldn't talk about it right now.
What is not possible in dance again?
To like, for example, communicate on online forum, to be like active in that um, space, digital space.
Yeah, yeah. That's very interesting because say for instance if we take ourselves as a case of use, what we do is like already very entangled with different things. But just that question of like why dance cannot engage fully through digital tools, that's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's close here for the
Yep. Yeah,
chat
right.
and we come back for the office
Yes, yes,
work.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
But thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And it's close to 1,000 subscribers actually. So I'm really excited
Wow.
to have 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for watching.